Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And someone made a comment yesterday, and I guess it's something I kind of need to talk about when I did the Cassidy Campbell video. And someone said, look, if Cassidy's been using anabolics for years straight without coming off, and he's on, then anybody in YouTube could be on it. They probably all are. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And guys, this is going to be a little bit of a red pill for the viewers of all this. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not even saying this to be jealous or hateful, because I'm going to be honest. I'm talking about people making this YouTube money. I probably make more money doing this than you guys believe I do or think I do. So when it comes to channels that are even bigger than mine, I guarantee you they're making a pretty good living. They're making a pretty good living. But again, a lot of this comes down to the fact that people don't believe it when certain people even say what they make off their YouTube fitness, because so many guys out there say, oh, I don't make that much money doing it. Well, what they might mean by not much money doing is $9,000 or $10,000 a month. You know, that's what they mean by I don't make that much money. I'm not like making millions off of it. They just mean they're making a six-figure income off of it. You kind of see the difference. And maybe in some places in the U.S., a six-figure income is middle class. I mean, there are places in California and New York to where if you're making $150,000 a year, you're basically working class. You can afford a little tiny house. So I get that. I get that. But they put this whole thing out, I'm not making much money doing it. And here's the thing, guys. I want you guys to really think about this for a moment. When you start looking at all your favorite fitness YouTubers, I want you guys to really understand how competitive this market is. And I want you guys to really ask yourselves, do you really believe that your favorite fitness YouTuber, I don't care who they are, do you really think that they're 100% natural? Considering the fact that they can make a lot more money doing it that way. And they say, yeah, but they come across as being so honest. And they come across as being such a good guy. Well, you know what? That's part of charisma in front of a camera, guys. How many politicians out there come across as really genuine good people when the camera's rolling? Most of them, don't they? That's their job. And what do they do behind the scenes? I mean, people should be used to this. This is part of your everyday reality, day after day, what people present on the screen versus their goodness and righteousness and the morals that they have isn't what goes on behind the scenes. How many times have you had athletes themselves come out being against all these drugs and talking about fair play in sports, and then they get popped later on the test because they made a mistake in their math? You guys see where I'm going with this? This is normal for public figures in our world. People will be a little bit deceptive to get ahead. And let me ask you a simple question. You really think there's any guy out there who's willing to sell you branched chain amino acids or a pre-workout who's honest? The data on these things shows that they don't even help. Neither one of these products help, yet people are making millions and millions of dollars off of them. How you really think someone who's promoting and making money off a product like that is really interested in honesty? You think that they're really being truthful with you when they're selling you those things? So you think they won't lie a little bit about what they're using behind the scenes to make more money? Guys, YouTube fitness is competitive. This is a competitive business, and there is a hell of a lot of money involved. And that's before we even get to selling products. We're talking just the ad revenue. Again, there's silly nonsense that floats around the internet that, oh, these YouTubers, they only make $1 per 1,000 views on their videos. Guys, I wouldn't be doing this if that's what it paid. I'm just going to throw that out there. If YouTube fitness videos only paid $1 per 1,000 views, I would be in a different line of work. Because that's just not going to cut it. For most fitness YouTubers, it's probably 4, 5, 6, 7 times that. Yeah, a lot of these guys are making 5 or 6 times what you think they're making. That's probably pretty normal for larger channels. So let that sink in. If you think they're making $50,000 a year, they're probably making $250,000 a year. There's your math. They make 5 times what you think they do. There you go. There's your red pill. So when people say, well, you know, I'm not used to it, but then you look at what they do, and it's like, well, how easy is it for a lot of these guys to come, well, I've got a new program out. And I'm not even going to name specific people. There's multiple people. There are multiple people I've talked about who've done this to help you get either blow your traps up, or build a Hollywood physique where you get much wider, bigger shoulders quickly, right? And that's what they market, and then they go run their own program, and you go look at it, and it's maybe not that great of a, it might be an okay program. In some cases it might be good, but it's nothing special, and in some cases they're downright bad, and they get these results, and these areas grow. Well, gee guys, how do you, these Hollywood physique, upper chest and delts, those are the areas of the body that have the most androgen receptors, along with traps. So you start looking at these parts of the body, if these areas are coming up relatively quick, they go run a program, and they see, some people who've been training for years already see visible changes in these areas inside of 6 months, and then they go sell programs. I think they got their money's worth. These people spent $200-300 to put something into their body to write a new program that they might sell for $50. They don't need to sell that many of them for it to be enormously profitable. If they're charging $50 for something and they sell 500 of them based upon a $300 investment of some stuff they pinned or took orally, it might even be legal depending on where they live. They spent $300 to make a visible change in an area while claiming they're natural and it's honest and it's just their new program. They sell 500 of that $50 program. They make $25,000. Did I do the math right? Maybe I need to redo the math. No, 500 is 25 grand. $25,000 for a $300 investment in a few months of work. What if they sell 1,000 of them? 20,000. Now they sell 20,000 of them. Sorry, 2,000 of them. Just 2,000 of that program. They made $100,000 by spending a few $100s and a low risk of just running a substance for a few months. You guys see what I mean? This is ripe to take over people's minds, because you have all these young guys who look up to all these different guys. They see these people, they see them in certain ways because they're on the camera, maybe larger than life, maybe they market themselves that way, and then they talk about, oh, this, you can do this naturally, you can do this with just this over-the-counter product, you can do it with this, you can do it with my program, and it's all nonsense. It's an enormous way to make money. And here's the thing, when you talk to some guys, I've even heard some guys justify this stuff. When you talk to them, they say, well, my program did help. I did run my program. I did run my program. And I did use my supplements. I'm not saying that's all I did, but I didn't lie about that. That program did help me get there. I feel that my pre-workout and my post-workout shake did contribute. But, you know, maybe the tren or the SARMs or the growth hormone and whatever else they might have taken, that contributed also. But they don't tell you that. Because number one, people say, well, why wouldn't they? Well, because most guys aren't going to admit to it. A few guys will, but you guys got to understand, you're talking about stuff that might be illegal for them to do. Stuff that will make them, because of certain social circles, demonized for them to do. And it's going to make them less marketable. It's harder for them to sell you products when they admit to that. It's easier for them to just do it behind closed doors, make the money. And people say, well, why would they do that? Why? It's like, for the money. There's a hell of a lot of money. Look at the things, most of you out there. What would the average person do to get famous and make more money? How far are they willing to go with it? Most people out there, and it doesn't need to be most, if 10% of the population, at least 10% of the population are willing to bend their morals a little bit, not outright break them, but bend their morals a little bit to make 5 times as much money as they do right now and build a big following of people who love them. You need to look at what people will do for small money out there. You need to go look around the world. Look in your neighborhood. Look at people you've met. And look at the number of people who will do way worse things if you take a few anabolics just to make $1,000. Right? You better look at what goes on in the world around you. There's black markets of all sorts of stuff. I mean, we have gangs. In this country, you know, in the United States, we actually have gangs and criminal enterprises that aren't making, the individuals involved in that aren't making the type of money a fitness YouTuber makes who's using a little bit of gear. And that's the point we come to. We come over to the point of maybe the people who are making it are the people who have the charisma in front of the camera to present themselves a certain way, who are willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead in this competitive environment. And they can pretend they're moral and natural, and I wouldn't do this and I wouldn't do that, and I just don't believe in it, and it sounds good. That's a good sell. Maybe it's the people who can tell that lie really easily on camera, who are willing to bend their morals, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on YouTube, and maybe off selling their products. Maybe that's the people who actually make it, and the guys who are honest are the guys you see who are stuck at 5,000 subscribers. The guys who are struggling to get their first 1,000,000 views after 2 years on YouTube. Maybe that is your actual honest guys, because they don't have what it takes to become a big fitness YouTuber, because they're not willing to do those things. And that might be the other fact that you've got to consider. It's not that everybody in fitness YouTube is doing this. It's that the people who are able to fake it the best and put on a certain persona for you in front of the camera, and who are willing to compromise their morals to get better results, are the ones who are just going to naturally build a larger following of people who want to follow them, and then they're going to get further into the search engines and they're going to grow. And the other guys, maybe the 80% of really honest guys about what they're doing, maybe they just can't get that sort of outreach, and so you just don't see much of them. But they're there. But they're not willing to do what it takes for them to really make this a living. So you guys really need to step back and assess that. When you start saying stuff like, well, this guy is natural and I'm impressed by so this guy's natural and this guy's not, so this just means that his training and his supplements and his diet and all the other stuff that he presents must just be so much better because he puts on a really good face and he says he's natural and I believe him. What's your criteria for believing him? The fact that he got good results and claimed that he's natural? That's your criteria for believing someone's natural, because they can say it with a straight face? You've never had anybody who you trusted in your life, who you thought was a good person, look you in the eyes and tell you a lie and you believe it? You've never had that happen before? Because I think we all have. You don't think some people can do that easier looking into a camera, and they don't even got to look you in the eyes in person? That's your criteria for believing somebody, that they can say with a straight face, no, I'm natural, guys. I really don't believe in it. I'm concerned about my health. It's illegal, and I just wouldn't feel right about it. I want to do it through just my own hard work and my own knowledge, so that I can help other people. I can help you achieve your potential. And if I were to cheat and do that, I wouldn't feel right about it. See, because someone can do that in a camera and put on a convincing act that sounds sincere while they're making $200,000, $300,000 a year taking it to the bank, that's your criteria for believing someone is natural. You're going to have a lot of life lessons coming. There's a lot you're going to learn about the real world over the next 5, 10 years in your life. You just got red pilled. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.